Good afternoon once again, ladies and gentlemen. This is PRL's penultimate round. It's Brazil, and there is the top three in the championship so far. But that's not the full story, because we need to look into the top four to see who's still in championship contention. And my teammate and girlfriend is there. Danny rocks 42 points adrift of me at the moment. She also has 3 wins, just like all the rest of the top 4, and needs to stay within 50 points to be within a chance in the final round, Abu Dhabi. Rafa takes pole once again in his Force India, pipped us right at the end of that session, but for us, pretty confident there because he's not a rival and we are P2 with our teammate in P3. So Marisha, quite happy with that session. Let's see if we can translate that into a good race result, perhaps extend our championship lead, and from Danny's perspective, stay in the championship hunt. She's on the prime tyre, so going for an alternate strategy to us and indeed Rafa. Off we go there. Pretty even start, I'd say, compared to the Force India driver. Both of us with a better start than Danny, but that's to be expected as she's on the harder compound. No moves down into turn 1, either from me or against me. And it looks like the two of us out front have a slight advantage so far out of that first complex. We try and follow Rafa for as long as we can. We know he's very rapid around this track. And we got very close to the rear wing of him there. Thankfully, no collisions occurred. And we can follow him up this into the second sector. Although it's very difficult to follow a car through here without understeering right off the track. We cut to the end of lap 2, and the two of us have gapped third position, and that's Danielson now as HSV, and Danny had a collision on the first lap, and that was really unfortunate for her, and she was also caught up in a collision with Stylen later in the piece, and that really ruled her out of contention for a high points finish in this race. We pitted there at the end of lap 12 as we were notified by our engineer that rain was on the way. Danielson did not pit in the other Force India, and he's 5 seconds up the road, with Dubsy also not pitting, but he's on prime tyre, so he might be able to go a bit further than Danielson, perhaps even to the rain period. Here is the Force India driver, and indeed he is on the option tyre, the medium compound you see there, and we easily break up the Force India 1-2 as he decides to pretty much let us through there and not concede any time in a battle. That recommendation to switch over to intermediate tyres came at exactly the wrong point in the lap. We did an extra lap and we lost a lot of time to Dubsy behind us, who made the correct call when coming in 1 lap prior. He cut the gap down from 18 seconds to quite a lot less, I believe. 12 in fact, by the time we need to go onto wets. And again, he undercut me with the correct choice of pitting lap. It was 12 seconds you saw there. As we put on the wet tyre and exit the pits, we'll follow this until the first split time we get there and see how much he's closed the gap. Of course, the Williams driver, a much better wet driver than I am. I've actually had a horrible season in the wet for some unknown reason. And huge understeer there. As I was saying, in the dry I seem to have the measure of Dubsy, but in the wet he's absolutely so much faster. And we had an 8-second advantage, but that's been cut down with just 2 laps to go, and he's actually right behind us. An ominous look back there to see the Williams driver. And we have to defend for our lives here. This is pretty much a championship battle. Well, it doesn't seem like it's going to be worth a lot. It's actually a 6-point fight, because I'm either going to gain 3 points or lose 3 points. And we'd really like to go into the last round with a bigger advantage rather than a smaller advantage, given that it's double points. And there's just 1 lap and a sector to go. We're not going to catch Rafa. He's half a minute down the road. Pretty good job from him. And in the wet he's also very rapid and has gapped. Most of that gap has become in the wet. probably only 12 seconds down, I think, in the drive phase, and also with that mistake in pit laps, that's where most of that gap has come from. And Dubsy's all over us. He's desperate to effect the move that would make his championship aspirations so much better going into the Abu Dhabi. And he's right on us there. We're actually going to have to defend into this, probably the only point in the track where he has a really good shot of getting a move done. He turned just a little bit early to block off any potential moves, and he was unable to get through there, and also lost a bit of ground. This is probably going to wrap it up for us. Rafa goes on to win the race. Fantastic job by him. And oh no, look there. Fuel was -1 for a second there. That was absolutely not what we want to see. It's there again, -1 lap. We'd have to put it to lean for the first time in the race. It's been optimal the whole time. That's not what I wanted to see. And with Dubsy so close, it could have been catastrophic. But it looks like we're going to make it in P2.
Second place. Brilliant driving. Brilliant driving.
A good result for us, but unfortunately, that 6th position puts Danny just 2 points away from still being in the title shot going into the last round, and she is eliminated. Really unfortunate for her. She feels like she's the forgotten championship contender. But talking about championship contenders, there are 3 possible champions going into the final round, and they are me, Jacko, Dubsy in 2nd, and Murph in 3rd. There are the permutations for you on screen to see who can win at Abu Dhabi. I open Jacko, and I really look forward to the finale.